The more time you spend in the virtual world, the more you suck at engaging in the real world.
My vision is to use Disney Plus as the platform for the metaverse. I think it really blends our physical beings with our digital beings and creates a three-dimensional canvas, if you will, for our creative storytellers to paint so that we can create experiences that otherwise have been defined as it's a park experience or it's a movie experience or it's a book experience. I think those all come together without boundaries, without borders, without constraints, and our creatives are just biting at the bit to get into the Disney metaverse.
And you actually say that the metaverse isn't something that we have right now. What is it going to be?
A mirrored version of the physical world in a virtual world somewhere where you can be whatever you want to be, go wherever you want to be, go wherever you want to go. That's probably decades away, but that's okay. In the meantime, the technology that's going to take to build that opens up all sorts of new and exciting opportunities. There is still ample opportunity for public and private companies alike to take advantage of the technology needed to build it. We already have metaverse-like things. You have virtual concerts in Fortnite. You have virtual concerts in Roblox. Vans, the skateboard and shoe company, built their own experience in Roblox last month. 40 million people visited it. And so there are things happening that, the early adopters are already kind of playing in a world that is metaverse-like for sure. But again, there are companies really benefiting. You take a company like Roblox. There are brands tripping over themselves to build experiences in Roblox. That's going to drive traffic. That's going to drive engagement. That will ultimately drive monetization. For video game companies like EA, Take-Two, Activision, they can slowly introduce it. These companies are typically fast followers on the latest trends. And so as they start to introduce some elements around collectibles, NFTs, and have metaverse-like experiences, that will do the same thing, drive engagement.
And then what is the currency of the metaverse going to be?
And if we use the baseball analogy, we're still in batting practice, let alone even starting the game here. Now on the currency, again, this is kind of open for debate because the Web 3.0 folks out there think this is going to be completely decentralized and ultimately the currency will be some sort of cryptocurrency. Very likely, at least in the investment time horizons that we have, and I think most of your viewers have, it will probably be walled gardens, in some cases using real dollars, in other cases using a virtual non-backed currency like in video games, or it could be a cryptocurrency.
That the walled garden version will be a dystopian sort of version, whereas the Web3 vision of it is going to be very decentralized.
I think it's going to be as big a trading bloc as any of the countries that we're talking about now, the EU or the US or anything like that, because it encompasses the whole globe. But that's 20 years down the line.
And we found software at the beginning to be a better business model and a place where private equity could make so many big positive changes and create so much value. And companies that are not only great businesses to invest in, but that are solving society's biggest problems. So it's a wonderful place to be. This audience in the private equity community represents the asset class that is the most forward-looking. And all the solutions in Web 2.0, in SaaS, in cloud computing that have started really in 2005, all those solutions are already there. What requires is people to dream up the possibilities. We're now at the beginning of Web 3.0, which is really an interconnected system of ideas, of systems, decentralized. It's truly revolutionary what's going on. When you have social communities that have millions of people, those social communities become real, and people begin to behave just as in the real world as in the physical world.
Everybody is clamoring to get into the metaverse. We created that with our 3D AI technology. Everything that you see in this video is next tech technology. So we've already conquered the metaverse. We already are in the metaverse. We're creating spatial maps. And then the magic about next tech, what makes us so unique, is we don't just create the spatial map. We actually have the technology to populate it. Without 3D assets, what is the metaverse? Nothing. It's like an empty shell. The conversation goes from augmented reality to virtual reality to AI, And what the metaverse does is really, for me, it unifies all of that under one umbrella. That's really what it does. It's just a unifying way, a unified way of speaking about all the amazing new technology that's being developed right now. So within the metaverse, spatially mapping the world is a ways off. That technology will be able to produce thousands, going to tens of thousands, going to hundreds of thousands, ultimately millions of models. And, that's the only way you're going to populate the metaverse with content. Our goal is to be the model factory for the metaverse and the world. Recently we just announced that we're launching our Metaverse Studio in Q1 2022. It really brings together all of our augmented reality technology. As you see, he went to like that arrow and then he points his phone and it's there. It lives there. It'll be there forever. That's the metaverse for us to showcase what's possible within the metaverse and our technology. We're doing the pioneering work. We're ushering in this new metaverse economy. Just think of all the Shopify sites. There's like 3 million plus Shopify sites. They all need 3D models. We're going to supply them. 2 months ago, Epic Games bought Sketchfab, which is another major 3D model marketplace. So in Q3, we were at like 3,500 models, let's say. In Q4, that number is going to explode to over 12,000 models. In Q1, it's going to explode to 40,000. We're getting contacted by EV companies asking us to turn their EVs into 3D.
6-7 years ago, the word blockchain was being thrown around without people really having a fundamental understanding of what the technology actually was or what its use cases would be. And here we are today, and blockchain is certainly a colloquial word that's being used, right? You fast forward to what we've seen over the last few weeks and months, and all of a sudden, the word metaverse is being tossed around quite a bit. We're even seeing companies changing their names to advocate for or indicate that they're moving towards supporting metaverse applications. At its core, a metaverse is where digital experiences take place. Okay? Imagine that you can go to a concert without leaving your couch. Imagine you own land that you will never set foot on, but that has material value. These are the types of digital experiences that metaverse applications unlock. And we're now seeing a lot of the confluence of gaming, virtual reality, and social media networks converging around these ideas. We've long been believers in Decentraland, which is a decentralized metaverse. It has a native token called Mana, but again, very, very early days for it.
Facebook announced that the name of the parent company has been changed to Meta, an embodied internet, where instead of viewing content, you are in it. He says anything you do in real life can be done in this new metaverse. But I must say, I'm a little worried that if we get ourselves too far away from reality, we won't be able to find our way back. The last thing I want is more virtual. And that's what the metaverse sounds like it's going to be, the pandemic year, except forever. The more time you spend in the virtual world, the more you suck at engaging in the real world.